All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Ever wonder how on earth educational publishers manage to cram all of human existence into one single book? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to do a full book review of an absolute heavyweight in the classroom, Holt World History, The Human Journey. This text is specifically engineered for middle and high school students, and we're going to see exactly how it attempts to map out the entire human experience. It's a massive undertaking, right? I mean, how do you take thousands of years of human history across every single continent, covering politics, economics, religion, culture, the whole shebang, and shrink it down into something a teenager can actually lug around in their backpack? We're going to break down exactly how this textbook tackles that epic journey, evaluating its structure, its depth, and its true educational value. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to start with how the human journey begins, map out the global history it covers, highlight where the book really shines, look at some limitations you should consider, and then wrap it all up with our final verdict.
Okay, Section 1. The human journey begins, targeting the next generation of historians.
Published by Holt, Rinehart, and Winston, this book's foundational philosophy is built on what we call a global interconnected story. The big takeaway here is that it completely refuses to isolate regions. Instead of looking at, say, the Roman Empire or the Han Dynasty as just these little isolated bubbles, it focuses heavily on the connections. It looks at the exchange of ideas, trade routes like the Silk Road, mass migrations, and how technology spread across continents. It's really about how we interacted as a species, not just how we existed.
Moving right along to Section 2, Mapping Global History, a Chronological Expedition.
So how exactly does the textbook structure this crazy long timeline to make it digestible? Well, it takes a super logical, chronological approach. It walks students step by step from prehistoric societies and ancient empires like Egypt, straight through medieval Europe and the Islamic Golden Age. From there, it hits the gas through the Renaissance, the Age of Exploration, and the Industrial Revolution, before dropping us right off at the doorstep of the Cold War and modern globalization.
But, a timeline is just a path. You need the right gear to walk it. To help navigate these massive eras, every single chapter comes with a really consistent toolkit. We're talking maps, historical photographs, primary documents like excerpts from the Magna Carta, and dedicated vocabulary sections. It also highlights biographies of influential figures to put a real human face on all that history. This predictable rhythm is a total game changer for keeping students engaged chapter after chapter.
Which brings us to Section 3, where the book shines. Let's look at its 5 key strengths. First up is the scope. Older textbooks notoriously suffered from, major tunnel vision. They focused almost entirely on Europe and Western civilization. But the human journey delivers a genuinely balanced global perspective. It gives serious weighted attention to Asian civilizations, Islamic culture, incredible African kingdoms like Mali, and indigenous American cultures. It forces a truly global perspective, helping readers genuinely appreciate the sheer diversity of our history. And to make all that dense information digestible, it doesn't just hit you with intimidating walls of text. Actually, scratch that. It relies heavily on a beautifully balanced mix of visual elements. Think full-color maps, historical artwork, and charts that make up a huge chunk of the presentation. These aren't just pretty pictures taking up space. They're active teaching tools designed to help visual learners instantly grasp complex ideas. Another huge strength, it pushes students way beyond just rote memorization. It's packed with rigorous critical thinking exercises. We're talking primary source analysis, document-based questions, and in-depth cause and effect exercises. They aren't just being asked what year a battle happened, they're being asked to compare ancient civilizations and interpret historical text for themselves. Because the ultimate goal here, and this is a quote right from the source material, is that these activities encourage students to think like historians rather than simply memorize facts. For educators and homeschooling parents, this is the absolute goldmine. It builds actual historical thinking skills, teaching young minds how to evaluate evidence and draw their own informed conclusions. Of course, no educational resource is perfect. Let's look at Section 4, Limitations to Consider, or the potholes on the journey. When you try to cover the entire span of human existence, you have to make some sacrifices. First off, highly complex events are inevitably simplified so they're digestible for school-aged readers. Second, you lose some depth. Massive, world-shifting events might get squeezed into just a page or two simply because of space constraints. And third, since it's built for a U.S. educational framework, it naturally has a bit of an American-centric emphasis in how it frames certain historical eras.
So, because the coverage is so incredibly vast, readers who are looking for granular academic analysis might find the text a bit lacking in detail. If you want a super deep dive into the intricate economics of the Silk Road or the factions of the French Revolution, well, this single volume just doesn't have the physical space for it. It is absolutely meant to be a starting line, not the finish line.
All right, let's wrap this up with section 5, the final verdict, destination reached.
Looking across the board, the educational value here is pretty undeniable. The writing style is totally clear and accessible. The organization brilliantly reinforces the chronological development of human history. The analysis tools are spot on for teaching cause and effect. And that incredible broad scope ensures students walk away with a real, genuine appreciation for global cultural diversity.
So when you balance those highly engaging visuals, the rigorous critical thinking exercises, and the incredibly broad scope against its introductory depth, Holt World History, The Human Journey, easily earns a very solid 4.5 out of 5 stars in our book review. It is an excellently crafted resource for introducing global history.